Could 2020 be the year of Queen Maxine? California Congresswoman Maxine Waters is a champion of the anti-Trump movement, Los Angeles rioters, and now this Sunday she's paying a visit to the Granite State, New Hampshire. That can only mean one thing, of course, given that it's a long way from her district. She's running for president.
Certainly the inauguration is a way of welcoming in someone to the presidency and honoring them and respecting them. I don't honor him, I don't respect him, and I don't want to be involved with it. And so I'm questioning the patriotism of all of those Republicans who are allowing this president to side with Putin.
I think that Jeff Sessions is very dangerous. I think he's a racist.
This is a bunch of scumbags. That's what they are. This is going to put us a little bit further on our way to what I've been calling for so long, and that is impeachment.
Larry Elder is a radio show host in Los Angeles, a proud son of that city. He knows Maxine Waters, and he joins us now for a preview of her presidential campaign. Larry, it's great to see you. Why should, I mean, is it fair to assume if she's going to New Hampshire, all the way from Hancock Park, where she lives in L.A., that she's thinking about running for president?
Well, if she runs, she may have a few problems. Of the 535 lawmakers on D.C., Tucker, she's the only one, to my knowledge, who's written a letter to Fidel Castro urging him not to send back a woman who murdered a New Jersey state trooper, escaped, fled to Cuba. Congress passed a resolution urging Castro to return her. She wrote a letter to Castro. The woman who escaped is a former Black Panther. She likened her to a freedom fighter, accused her of being a victim of the criminal justice system, and urged Castro not to return her to America. The woman, Joanne Chesimard, remains at the top of New Jersey's most wanted list, and Maxine Waters urged Castro not to send her back. That's point one. Second one is she falsely accused the CIA of basically fomenting the crack cocaine epidemic in the 80s and the 90s in the inner city, a argument that's been debunked by the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the LA Times. And of course, she had a meeting with the then Secretary of Treasury, urging him during the financial meltdown to bail out minority-owned banks without informing him that she and her husband had a financial interest in one of said minority banks, for which she was investigated by the House for ethics violation, played the race card. The violation, therefore, went supernova. It is one of the reasons, Tucker, why one of the left-wing groups, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics, constantly labels her as one of the most corrupt politicians in Washington, D.C.
Well, I can't speak to that, because I'm not an investigator, but she's certainly good with money, because she's been in office for 40 years, I think continuously, 40 years this year, and yet she lives in a $4.5 million house in one of the richest, one of the nicest neighborhoods in LA.
She's a shrewd stock investor.
How does she do that? Like, what do you know the answer? Is it magic? I mean, how can I do something like that?
I'll just give you the Harry Truman answer. When you go into politics poor and you come out rich, you're stealing. And Tucker, we haven't even talked about her left-wing views, and they're no different than Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren or Nancy Pelosi, but she champions herself, Maxine Waters does, as a champion of the inner city. So her policies for inner-city black and brown people are particularly corrosive.
I know.
One of which, of course, is her opposition to vouchers. I went to a high school in the inner city, Tucker, called Crenshaw. If you saw the movie Boys in the Hood, that's my high school. Right now, 3% of the kids at that school can do math at grade level. But if you live across the street, you are mandated to send your kid to that school. Republicans want to give that person across the street a choice to say, hell no. Democrats want that person to send their child to that school no matter what. That alone is a reason that people ought to reconsider Maxine Waters, and black people in particular ought to reconsider their allegiance to people like Maxine Waters that are doing a great deal of damage to the inner city.
And if she runs for president, I hope you will be our Maxine Waters correspondent from L.A. Larry, great to see you tonight.
She will not get my vote. She won't get my vote.
Yeah, but you can cover her for us. You'll be our man on the scene. I would love that. Thank you. Larry Elder.
You got it.
Great to see you.